Hey, welcome to another review, and today we have something that I actually have not heard in a few years, to say the least, which is the first Metallica album, Kill 'Em All, which, they're regarded as the pioneers of thrash metal and, or as some people call it, trash metal, because it's kind of trash. This album came out in '83, so it's pretty much regarded as like the first thrash metal album, or at least like the first one to sort of establish the genre or define the genre, because yeah, this album was kind of like genre defying in that regard. And what to say about it? It's a short, album. I mean, later albums will be shorter actually, so I don't know if it's fair to say that it's short, but it's definitely on the shorter side when it comes to running length, I guess, because the length of later albums is definitely bigger, even if they have less songs, because a lot of the songs are actually, longer. With that being said, let's face it, yeah, this came out in '83. The quality is so piss poor. Like, Jesus, the audio quality is incredibly bad. Like, this is the fucking primordials. This is when you didn't have recording equipment and you recorded this shit like on your, fucking flip phone, type thing. That's the fucking quality equivalent of this album. It's incredibly fucking bad sounding, especially the first few songs when you're not used to it. Because as soon as you get used to it, it sort of like gets better. But my god, like the audio just is not good at all. However, outside of that, if you take away the audio being low quality, because obviously, it's their first album, they didn't exactly have professional equipment and stuff like that, right? And it's kind of hard to remaster songs and make them sound way better after you've already done a shit recording. So, all of that aside, this actually aged fairly decent. Honestly, it's very aggressive, it's very fast, it's very full of energy, in your face. It really does show that they were very, very young when they put out this, because it's the type of, like, not necessarily angry teen, but more like early adulthood type thing, where it's like you're still, full of energy and you just wanna, like, just fucking be in everyone's faces and prove yourself to everyone. And I think that in a way, that energy is exactly what was genre defying and what made Metallica so popular to begin with. It was that energy, that unapologetically, hey, we're gonna fucking play our instruments, it does not matter if they sound like shit. Because for a lot of people they sounded like shit because of the tuning of the guitars and everything, right? But that made them very unique. That made them their sound especially was very unique, and the way they composed songs and everything was very interesting, right? This aggressiveness, and especially how fast it is something that, this energy that they bring in this album is something that a lot of fans kind of want from new Metallica, and it's something that we're never gonna have again, because this is the type of energy that people that haven't proved themselves tend to have when they try to prove themselves, pretty much, right? So all in all, I don't think you can ask modern Metallica to put out this type of energy, because this type of energy is the type of energy of, people that are still very young and just want to conquer the world type thing. Nowadays Metallica is like, they're fucking, they're almost fucking grandpas, like they're very old, like they just don't have the same energy, right? And that's, normal. I mean, it's been 40 years of a career. It's absolutely insane. You cannot ask their newer albums to just be full of energy. But even then, a lot of these songs, when you see them live and stuff like that, because I picked at some live recordings, especially songs like Seek and Destroy. Seek and Destroy is an amazing fucking song, and that song is like timeless in a way. You can literally put it in any Metallica album and it's like, yep, this is Metallica, this is iconic, right? It feels like it could belong anywhere in the Metallica discography. It's just that good of a song. It encapsulates what Metallica is very well, right? Another thing that I also noted about this album is, wow, was James not a good fucking singer. Let's fucking face it, his singing, or I guess his screaming, was really bad. Like, you could see that someone was just like trying to scream, but clearly not very good at it. The quality is very rough of the screams, definitely. It did obviously get better over time, and his singing capabilities became way better and became even more in tune with Metallica. I would say that even despite the singing not being the best for this album, I think it kind of works because everything is so frantic, right? Everything is so on edge in a way, right? Like nothing is very polished. Everything is very rough around the edges, very rustic even, right? So in a way, this type of singing actually does kind of work with this album, although, clearly it's not the best. Now, with that being said, pretty much the entire album is, honestly, again, like, outside of the sound quality, I still think it's a very fun album to listen to. Like, especially if you need something more energetic, full of energy and sort of aggressive. I think that this is very good. Like, this is basically what thrash metal is, and that's why it was genre defying, because this is just encapsulates everything thrash is, aggressive, energetic, fast, right? Just in your face, yeah, I mean, just very, very, very good, honestly. Again, I did really forget how bad the fucking sound was. Like, I just forgot how fucking bad the sound was. But outside of the sound, even a lot of the songs, like, for being the first album that they released, a lot of the composition of the songs is actually really fun. It's actually really interesting, right? Especially, again, the latter part of the album, maybe the opener isn't the best, especially the Ita Lights. I think that Ita Lights is a good song, but the intro of that song just leaves you deaf entirely. Like, my god, that intro is bad. But outside of the intro, it's really fun. A lot of the songs are just fun. They're very just fun to listen to. That's how I can describe them the best, right? So as a whole, I would say, honestly, for being an album that is over 40 years old, outside of the songs that, again, to reiterate, because I really need to, I think people truly do not grasp how bad the fucking sounds are, right? So to reiterate, outside of the sounds that are really bad, the album is actually really good, and I still vibe with it a lot. My vibe meter is giving me like a strong 8 out of 10. I think 8 out of 10. I think is fair for this album. Honestly, it's a very strong album, and you can see why Metallica became as big as they did, because this album is a really good like, I have heard a lot of first albums from a lot of bands. Let me tell you, man, you wish they were half as good as this one, right? Like, this shit is really good, even by today's standards, even by today's thrash standards. It aged incredibly well, sound aside, right? So yeah, 7 out of 10, or 7 out of 10, and 8 out of 10. I think it's fair.